beautiful souls. It's Crystal, and welcome back to another episode of Sparks of Sunshine. So, let me ask you, how do you stay positive and keep your energy up when life feels heavy? You know those days when it feels like you're trying to keep the good vibes alive, but everything seems to be pulling you down? Yep, we've all been there. Today, we're doing an energy check, finding ways to keep our spirits lifted, protect our energy, and maybe even add a little extra sunshine into our everyday. So if you're ready, let's dive in. All right, let's start with something simple but so powerful, checking in on our energy. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some days you wake up feeling unstoppable, and other days it feels like every little thing is a struggle? Like you're dragging your feet before the day ever even really starts? Yep, me too. It's wild how our energy can shift so much depending on what's happening in our lives or even the mood of the people around us. Imagine this, it's one of those good days. Maybe it's sunny, you had a great night's sleep, or you just have that feeling that today is going to be the day. You're feeling positive, motivated, and it seems like everything is lining up. But then there are those other days, the ones where it feels like you're carrying a ton of bricks around, even if nothing specific is going wrong. We all have days like that where our energy feels heavy or off, and sometimes it feels like a mystery as to why. But acknowledging that energy and recognizing when you're in a need of a recharge is so huge. And here's the thing, sometimes just recognizing that we need a boost is a powerful step. It's like giving yourself permission to slow down, recharge, and take a break when you need it. Our energy isn't always in our control, but how we respond to it is. So think about how you're feeling today. Are you on a high energy day? Or do you feel like a little recharge is in order? Think about it. Okay, now that we're tuned into where our energy is at, let's talk about ways to give ourselves a little recharge when we need it. Sometimes it's the simplest things that can lift us up. Think about it. How often do you stop and do something just for you in the middle of a busy day? Probably not as often as you'd like, right? But even the smallest actions can make a huge difference. One of my favorite quick recharges is a change of scenery. Have you ever noticed how just moving to a different spot, like sitting in a new corner of the room, or even just switching up your workspace can help reset your mood? Sometimes I'll move over to a cozy chair or switch things up entirely just to give myself a fresh perspective. It's amazing how a simple change like that can feel like a little boost for your mind. Another one that's almost guaranteed to lift your spirits is laughter. Have you ever noticed how laughing, even if it's something small or something completely random, it just brightens your mood? Laughter is one of the quickest ways to shift our energy. And the best part, it doesn't take much. Just a few minutes to get that feel good vibe back. And here's a simple one, music. There's something about turning on your favorite song that just like instantly brightens things up. I've got a playlist for those days when I need a little lift, with songs that make me feel good no matter what. Even if it's just one song, that little boost can make all the difference in your day. It's easy to think that recharging our energy requires some big shift, but often it's the small things that make the biggest impact. Whether it's finding a new spot to get comfortable, laughing at something silly, or cranking up your favorite song, taking a few moments for yourself is a powerful way to keep your energy balanced. So, as we're talking about recharging, let me ask you, what's one small thing that always gives you a boost? Maybe it's listening to your favorite song, stepping outside, or even just laughing at a silly video. Think about one quick recharge that never fails for you. And if you haven't tried one of the ideas we talked about today, consider giving one a shot. Sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest difference. All right, let's talk about boundaries. Those funny little rules that keep us from feeling totally drained. For me, I've got a boundary that I call no endless scrolling. It's way too easy to get sucked into social media or random internet rabbit holes, right? So I set a boundary for myself. If I catch myself scrolling aimlessly, I've got to stop and do something that actually lifts me up. Play my favorite song, check in with a friend, or take a quick breather. It might sound small, but it's amazing how this one little rule keeps my energy from getting zapped. Sometimes the most powerful boundaries are these little ones we set for ourselves. Whether it's giving yourself permission to skip the constant notifications or taking mini breaks throughout the day, these boundaries don't have to be big to be powerful. They're just simple ways to keep your energy in check and save some fuel for what really matters. Setting boundaries isn't about saying no to everything. It's about giving yourself a little buffer to protect your own energy. Whether it's limiting screen time or creating mini breaks, these small boundaries help us stay grounded and ready for whatever comes next. All right, here's the thing about finding uplifting moments. They don't always look like what you'd expect, right? Sometimes it's just the silly, unexpected stuff that gives you a laugh, like finding a random sock that went missing months ago, or finally getting your phone charger to reach just the right spot on the bed. Life's little victories, right? So keep an eye out for those weird, wonderful moments. They might just give you the best lift of the day. All right, now that we've talked about recharging and setting boundaries, let's get into one of my favorite things, finding those little moments that just make you smile. Those sparks of sunshine are sunshine snapshots, even on the busiest days. You know what I mean? Like those tiny little things that just lift you up for no reason other than pure joy. For me, it's the random moments like spotting a beautiful sunset when I didn't expect it, or hearing my favorite song at just the right time. These little things might seem small, but they add up. And the best part, you don't have to plan them. Sometimes it's as simple as pausing for a second and noticing what's around you, or even doing something as small as picking up a treat for yourself, whether it's a snack or something that just makes you smile. These are the moments that help keep our energy high without a big effort. And here's a little challenge for you. Think about something today that made you smile, even if it was tiny. It could be something random like catching a funny video or a small act of kindness. Whatever it is, hang on to that feeling because those little moments add so much positivity to our day. Finding joy doesn't have to mean big life-changing events. It's all about embracing the little things. The more we let ourselves feel joy in the small ways, the easier it becomes to carry the positive energy with us. So go ahead, look for those tiny moments and let them add a spark to your day. Before we wrap up, let's pull everything together with a little challenge. How about creating your own energy boost checklist? Think of it as a mini guide you can turn to when you need a lift or a little recharge. This can be super simple, just a few things that bring happiness or help you reset. It might be putting on that song that always lifts your mood, stepping outside for a change of scenery, or even setting a funny little boundary to keep your energy steady. Grab a pen or make a note on your phone, whatever works for you, and list a few go-to ways to boost your energy when life feels heavy. The idea here is to have a handful of things you know work for you so that when you're feeling drained, you don't have to think about it. You've got your own little toolkit ready to go. And here's the fun part, keep adding to it. Every time you discover something that lifts you up, jot it down. This is all about creating a little toolkit of sunshine, something you can come back to whenever you need an extra lift. All right, let's bring it all together with a quick recap of today's episode. We talked about recognizing our energy levels, finding simple ways to recharge, setting those funny little boundaries to protect ourselves, and looking for uplifting moments in every day. I hope this gave you some fresh ideas to keep your energy up, even on the days that feel heavy. So here's my challenge for you this week. Think about one way you can bring a little extra positivity into each day. Maybe it's adding one quick recharge to your routine, celebrating a small win, or setting a simple boundary to protect your energy. And remember, it's all about finding what works for you. You've got this. And that's a wrap, beautiful souls. Remember, staying uplifted isn't about having it all figured out. It's about finding joy in the small things, recharging when you need it, and setting those little boundaries that help you stay balanced. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to tap that heart, follow along, or share it with someone who could just use a little extra sunshine in their life. I'll catch you on the next episode, beautiful souls. Until then, keep shining bright, stay grounded, and we'll continue this journey together.